Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and today we're doing part 2. I am very sorry I had to cut the first part of this video short because I had a phone call from the school. My son is currently doing his GCSEs and they needed to clarify something, so that is why part 1 cut off. So, part 2, we're going to look at the other side of mental health, and that is not what causes it, but how you can help yourself. So, mental health is different to everybody. Now, no two people have the same mental health. Whatever's triggered your mental health issues are probably not the same as everybody else because everybody's feelings and thoughts or emotions are special to themselves. Now, when I had my mental health episode, I had a number of factors that filtered in and became gigantic in my head. And they were issues that had manifested over time and then boom, they exploded overnight and I just had a breakdown. I'm not going to lie. It's probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had. I felt low, alone, and just horrifically felt horrible inside. Now, everybody's mental health is different. And as much as somebody would like to sit there and listen to you and say, I totally understand, I see where you're coming from, I know how you feel, and I hate that because nobody can know how you feel. And when people sit there and they tell me, I totally understand what you're going through, I feel for you and I know how you're feeling. You don't know how I'm feeling. If you knew how I felt, you know, people who say that are trying to help you. I get that. But as I've always told somebody, no one can feel how I feel. No one can understand what I'm going through. As much as they'd love to understand, they can only be there as a moral support with their thoughts, their opinions, and their emotions on what you're going through. No one can actually feel what you're going through. And I felt totally alone. Not gonna lie, around Christmas time, I had an episode, some bad things happened. I had a downward spiral. But as I was spiraling, I also wanted help. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to be that way. So I sought help from the retail trust. This isn't sponsored or anything. The retail trust were connected with my work at the time and they actually helped me get a doctor's appointment. I then sought help. I was then offered counselling really quickly. They obviously could see that I was in a pretty bad state. I wasn't doing mentally well, and they were there to help. Now, not everybody is as lucky as I was. I got help fairly quickly in a very short period of time. The other side of that is realizing you need the help. Now, some people like me, I kept everything bottled up. I was guarded. I kept everything bottled up. I didn't want to bother people. I didn't want to be a burden on somebody. And I've always had this thought of myself that my thoughts and feelings and emotions are mine. They're nobody else's. They're nobody's concern. And I kept things bottled up, like in here and in here. And that was the worst thing I could do. Had I have spoken to somebody through the bad times before it exploded, I may have got the help I needed sooner. Things may not have bubbled over, but you cannot play devil's advocate with that. It's neither here nor there. You cannot predict what would have happened had I have had help sooner. Maybe if I'd have put my thoughts and feelings and emotions out there sooner, maybe I wouldn't have had an episode. But mental health is personal to each person. Everybody has their own struggles, whether it's getting up in the morning, facing work. Um, Maybe you have a spouse that you're going through some turmoil, some marriage problems. Marriage, mental health doesn't necessarily have a face or a name. Although I am supposedly suffering from depression, and stress, work related anxiety, I don't define myself by that. And obviously, the way of using terminology like depression is to give my condition a name. But do I see myself as depressed? I don't see myself as depressed. I don't use that word. I see myself as having struggles, as having issues, as having problems. I know they like to use the word depression and stuff like that for terminology. I personally don't use that word. I use the words that I'm low, that I'm struggling, that I'm not coping. I don't like the word depression. Maybe it makes it too real. Maybe it's a word that hits home that maybe I am depressed. I just don't want to use it. But there is help out there. Now, the problem is getting the help and realizing you needing the help. The first step is realizing, breaking that cycle of how you're feeling, maybe letting somebody else in. It's horrible to think that you can have so many people around you and feel alone and closed off and guarded, and that you can't share stuff even with your family, who are right there by your side day in, day out, would probably have your back in any situation you had. And it's breaking that cycle where you keep everything to yourself, but you're crying on the inside for help. And you want to tell somebody, look, I'm struggling, I'm not coping, I'm having a bad day. And every time you like go to utter those words, you stop yourself, or you change the conversation and you never get to that part. Or you don't want to tell somebody. Maybe you feel you'll be judged. Maybe you feel you'll be ridiculed. Maybe you feel even putting it out there that no one's going to understand what you're going through. And it's horrible to feel so alone in a world full of so many people. And I felt that. I felt alone. I didn't want to burden my family with all my problems. I didn't want to talk about it because the more you say it out loud, the more real it becomes. So I had counseling. I've got the help. Yes, I still have bad days. Yes, I wake up some mornings and I'm just think, what the actual fuck? Other days, I have a smile on my face. Does it last all day? No, because I'm a human, not a robot. Do I feel like the counseling has helped in a way? Has it cured me? No. Mental health issues, problems, concerns takes time, takes a lot of self reflection, takes a lot of self preservation. You know, you can't fix yourself overnight. There is no magical cure for mental health. You don't just turn a switch on and off. You can't just be happy 1 minute and then keep permanently smiling. It doesn't work like that. Mental health can be debilitating. It can be ostracizing you from your friends. It can make you not want to go out. It can make you not want to work. It can make you go to the darkest places that you don't want to go. And then how do you get back from that? You take your time. You talk to people that you can confide in. You find a way of coping, whether it's yelling and screaming into a mirror, whether it's going to counseling, whether it's finding that thing in life to give you that new purpose so you can throw yourself into something else. Mental health is different for everybody, and there is no magical cure. There is a stigma against depression and stuff like that. And there always will be, because there'll always be people out there that just don't understand and can't understand what depression is because they've never had it. And the whole thing of, just pick yourself up and carry on, or stop being so miserable, or just ignore it. It's not as easy as that. And for the people that don't understand mental health, I pray you don't have it one day, because it's horrible. It's debilitating. It's horrible. Sometimes mental health can be dangerous to you and others around you. You go to dark places in your thoughts. It's not a good place to be, and I don't wish it on anybody. But it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and if you are having issues or problems or concerns, either with your own mental health or somebody around you, or a work colleague or your son or daughter, try and be as calm, collective, reassuring to the person as possible. If you are seeing signs of ostracization, them being in their rooms constantly, them not wanting to hang out, them not wanting to do things, maybe just ask, how you doing? Are you okay? Simple little questions, no digging, no prodding, no pushing. Just how have you been? How are you doing? Are you okay? There's simple little questions that you can ask your kid every day, your partner, your friend, your work colleague. And at one point or another, they may turn around and say, you know what? No, I'm having a bad day. I really am struggling. And if they pour their heart out to you, just listen. Just listen. And then if they want you to help them, or they ask whether you know someone that can help them, like a therapist or a counselor or some advice, always remember that you are not a doctor, you're not a therapist, you're not a counselor. Maybe tell them, look, if you're struggling, go and have a word with your doctor. If it's a child within your family, maybe tell them to go speak to their mother, speak to their brother, speak to their teacher. There is always help out there. It's just realizing that you need the help and getting the right help. Now, I'm not going to tell you that if you have mental health issues and you go to your doctor, you're going to be cured overnight. Mental health can be weeks, months, years, or a lifetime. Unfortunately, that's mental health for you. Mental health can be good one day and terrible the next. You might be consistently fine for weeks and then have a blip. So it's Mental Health Awareness Week. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope this helped in some way. Go watch part 1 because I was cut off by the school. My son is currently doing his GCSEs, and they needed to clarify something. I've been trying to film this all morning, and you know how annoying it gets every time you try and film and someone phones you. But like and subscribe, follow the channel. If you want to help the channel out, consider a PayPal or a super chat. If you want to continue to watch my channel, consider subscribing. I do mental health videos quite often as I myself suffer. I hate to say the word, I suffer from depression and have done, from what I'm gathering, is a couple of years, but I hadn't realized it. And I'm getting the help. So like and subscribe. If you like this video, comment down below some nice comments, your coping mechanisms for stress and depression or whatever mental health issue you have, and just leave some nice wishes in the chat. And I will see you all very soon for a more positive video. But I'm going to love you and leave you.